5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good evening and welcome, everyone. I'm Bill Maley, Brighton Town Supervisor. I want to welcome everyone to the March 9th, 2022 meeting of the Brighton Town Board. In a moment, after a couple of wonderful proclamations tonight, we will start the open forum portion of our meeting. That's the portion of the meeting when members of the public have the opportunity to share their comments with the town board. If you're watching us on YouTube or our community cable access channel, you'll have to log into Zoom in order to access the open forum. You can go to the Town of Brighton web page and get the instructions for doing that there. Again, the web page is www.townofbrighton.org. As always, our meeting tonight is accessible to the deaf and hard of hearing community with our ASL interpreters, Allie and Heather. Welcome, both of you. Thank you so much. Just as a reminder, the agenda for tonight's meeting, as well as all the materials we will be looking at and making the decisions at the meeting tonight, are all available on the Town of Brighton webpage. And I invite you, if you're able to rise and join me in the pledge, although if you're on the Zoom, please mute yourself if you're going to do that. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As I mentioned, we do have two proclamations tonight, and I'm excited about both of them, but I am especially excited about the first one. Our Brighton High School skiers, both Alpine and Nordic, really had some extraordinary accomplishments at the state championships, and we're going to recognize all of those skiers with this proclamation. Whereas the Brighton High School Alpine and Nordic ski teams shone at the state championships, bringing home team and individual medals. Whereas the Brighton Girls Nordic ski team, Kate Enzelotti, Amelia Jordan, Bridget Musaw, and Elizabeth Norris clinched their third consecutive state championship title. Wow. With the relay team of Kate Enzelotti, Amelia Jordan, and Bridget Musaw taking first place in the team relay, while Kate and Amelia won first and second place in the girls' individual Nordic state championship, respectively. Whereas senior Ben Camo won the boys' Alpine Giant Slalom state championship and placed second in the slalom. And girls' Alpine skier Madeline Stojgel finished third in the giant slalom. Whereas the girls' Alpine team placed second in the state, rounding out an impressive roster of team and individual wins for Brighton athletes. And whereas these dedicated athletes have demonstrated an admirable combination of commitment, tenacity, and a love of sport, reflecting Brighton Central School District's commitment to excellence. Whereas great achievements trace back to excellent coaches, like Nordic ski coaches Craig and Rachel Matern, and Alpine ski coach John Feltz, who mentored these youth, these great athletes, and inspired them to always strive for their personal best. Whereas these young athletes make Brighton proud and are products not just of their own stamina and self-motivation, but the supportive community of parents, teachers, coaches, and friends who surround them, reminding us how very important it is to help children aspire and grow to achieve their dreams. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that I, William W. Maley, Brighton Town Supervisor, on behalf of our entire Town Council, do hereby proclaim March 9th, 2022, as Brighton High School Ski Teams Day in the town of Brighton. And we congratulate the student athletes and their coaches. And as you can see on your screen, this proclamation is signed the 9th day of March in the year 2022. And it's only thanks to the miracles of modern technology that everybody is here, because several of our athletes are actually in Minnesota right now. Our Nordic skiers, I believe Kate and Emilia are in Minnesota, along with Coach, Craig Matern, looking to bring home some more recognition. But you've done the community proud. You've done your school proud. We are so pleased to have you all here. We will make sure that each of you get individual proclamations. But if any of the coaches would like to say a few words, we'd love to hear from you, or the students for that matter. Well, again, congratulations. Good luck in Minneapolis for those of you that are out there, and best wishes for the rest of your school years. Congratulations all around.
Thank you very much. We appreciate the support.
Our next proclamation tonight recognizes Women's History Month. Whereas the roots of Women's History Month can be traced to March 8th, 1857, when female garment workers in New York City protested for equal rights and a 10-hour workday. Whereas the first Women's History Week was created by President Jimmy Carter in 1980 to underscore women's achievements and to show support for the contested Equal Rights Amendment, which proposed guaranteeing equal rights under the law and prohibiting discrimination based on sex. And whereas Women's History Month was established in 1987 by President Ronald Reagan to commemorate and encourage the study, observance, and celebration of the vital role of women in American history. And whereas throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, women have been negatively impacted in unique ways as schools closed, jobs were lost, and workplaces shifted. Women's participation in the labor force was disproportionately reduced, worsening systemic barriers to job opportunities and equal pay, multiplying the burden on paid and unpaid caregivers, and increasing rates of violence against women, particularly in the home. Whereas despite women's hard-won advancements, today's public health crisis has damaged forward progress as women's economic independence has frayed. At the same time, women's basic rights have come under attack legislatively and judicially. Whereas as we celebrate Women's History Month, we must remember that 50 years have passed since Congress sent the Equal Rights Amendment to the states for ratification, and still we wait for women's equality to be enshrined in the US Constitution. Pass the Equal Rights Amendment, get it in the Constitution. Now therefore, be it proclaimed that I, William W. Maley, Brighton Town Supervisor, and members of our Town Council, do hereby recognize March 2022 as Women's History Month in the town of Brighton, and we urge all residents to continue to work towards women's equality as one step towards equal and equitable treatment for all. This proclamation is signed this 9th day of March in the year 2022. Okay, yesterday, rather, I announced that the town of Brighton and Faith Church had reached an agreement for the town to purchase approximately 44 acres of open space located near the corner of Winton and Westfall Roads. That purchase from Faith Church. The land is located next to Buckland Park and is primarily meadow habitat, home to foxes, deer, hawks, and so many other species. Over the years, I can honestly say that the one question that people have asked me more than anything else is what is going to happen with that land, and is there any way that the town might be able to buy it? And yesterday, I was able to very proudly say, yes, the town can, and yes, we will buy that beautiful parcel of open space right in the heart of Brighton. I want to thank Pastor Steve Edlin and Faith Church for working with us to make this vision for the community a reality. I also want to thank former Brighton Supervisor Sandy Frankel, who made the preservation of green space in Brighton a priority of her administration as well. Both Pastor Edlin and Supervisor Frankel were with us yesterday for this exciting announcement. The town of Brighton has made the acquisition of green space a priority for many years now. And during the pandemic, the importance of green space has never been clearer, as people came out like never before to use our parks and our trails. I couldn't be any happier to make this vision for Brighton's future a reality. This past Monday, the town of Brighton changed its policies regarding masking in town facilities. Masks are still strongly recommended in all town buildings, but they're no longer required. I think it's important to note that COVID is still very real and very present. Taking precautions to avoid COVID, whether or not you choose to wear a mask, is only prudent. If you do test positive, it's important that you follow Monroe County guidelines for reporting your test results. Speak with your primary care physician if you have one, and isolate as required under those Monroe County guidelines. The town's relaxation of our mask policy follows CDC guidelines and the lower risk levels currently present in Monroe County. I say lower, it's not zero. If that risk level increases again, it is always possible we'll have to reinstate some of those precautions. But another thing we can all do to protect the people around us is to take a COVID rapid test before going out to indoor gatherings, family gatherings, events, whatever. The town has COVID kits available, test kits available in the library, in the police department, and at the main information desk at Town Hall. We invite everyone to stop in and pick up kits for yourself and for your family. A couple of other things very quickly. One, you may have noticed we have posted a new position with the town. Our Inclusion, Diversity, and Equity Director's position is now open. The information is available on the website. It's also on the town's Facebook page. As we've said before, Brighton is the first town in Monroe County and the first town that I'm aware of anywhere in upstate New York to be hiring such a position. So we want to make sure we get a great candidate pool, so let folks know. And we'll be looking to hire that position as soon as we possibly can. We also have a number of community engagement, community input opportunities for some of our very important ongoing planning activities. First relates to our climate action plan. consistent with our commitment to be a more sustainable community, we will be holding a community meeting on April 5th to get input on that climate action plan. We will also be holding community meetings at dates to be determined in the very near future for our IDEA plan, our Inclusion, Diversity, and Equity Action Plan, and for our community center plan. As you'll recall, for both of those, we've reached out previously for community input. We had our several World Cafe sessions held remotely as the first draft of the plan was being developed. And we had a community survey relating to the community center that received almost 1,000 responses, really an extraordinary response for the community, and we thank you for that. We hope that members of the community will be engaged and involved in all of those planning processes. Excuse me, go. Okay, now we will proceed to the open forum. The open forum is an opportunity to address the town board about matters relating to the Brighton community, whether or not they're on the agenda tonight. We may not respond to your questions or comments, particularly if they relate to matters that are not before the board this evening. But I assure you that we listen and we take your input seriously. If you would like to address the board during the open forum, as I mentioned before, you must join the meeting on Zoom if you haven't already done so. Please use the raised hand function in Zoom if you do intend to speak during the open forum. Each speaker will have up to 3 minutes to address the board. I'll advise you when you have 30 seconds left. Please address your comments to the board, not to other speakers. And please do not use the open forum to make personal attacks of any kind. I will ask you to state your name and address for the record, and I will ask that you turn your video on, or we will not be able to recognize you. Our goal tonight and every night that we have these town board meetings during the open forum is to give you the opportunity to share your thoughts with the board and for us to be able to listen thoughtfully to your input. So is there anyone that would like to address the board at this time during the open forum? Bridget, do we have anybody to address the board?
Nobody has raised their hand at this point.
Okay. No, that's fine. That's
Okay.
fine. If we don't have anybody, and it appears that we don't.
Bill, therefore I move we approve the agenda.
Can I have a second, please?
Second, Christine.
Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember DePonzio.
Aye.
Councilmember Werner.
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt.
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado.
Aye.
Supervisor Maley.
Aye. And I guess yes, I guess our skiers have all left. I didn't want anybody to feel like they had to stay for the whole meeting. As enjoyable as these meetings are, they certainly don't have to stay, especially the skiers that are out in Minneapolis getting ready for those nationals. That's so exciting. We have no public hearing tonight. I just want to mention in passing, at our last meeting, we held and tabled a public hearing relating to a proposed amendment to the town's noise law as it pertains to a portion of the RG&E Winton Road gas main project. We will not be taking that public hearing back off the table this evening. I anticipate that we may do that at the next board meeting. In the meantime, I encourage folks to familiarize themselves with that project. And if you have any comments, you can feel free to send them to the town clerk, to myself at this time, and we will make sure that they are included in the record of the public hearing once the public hearing is reopened. But then we have one item of communication, and can I have a motion to receive and file that communication, please?
So moved. Robin?
Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you,
Second, Chris.
And that is the annual report for the Erie Canalway National Heritage Corridor, a different organization than the Canal Corporation. This is an organization that's focused on the history of the Erie Canal. So we have their annual report, and we have a motion to receive and file that annual report. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none. Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember DePonzio,
Aye.
Councilmember Werner,
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt,
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado,
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy.
Aye. Next, we have our committee reports, starting with Community Services. Robin?
Thank you, Bill. The Community Services Committee was not scheduled to meet in the intervening time since the last town board meeting. But as usual, I do have some updates from our Parks and Recreation Department heads. From our Recreation Department, as you mentioned, Bill, with regard to our recreation programs as well, with new CDC and New York State Department of Health COVID-19 guidance having been released, the town recreation department policies and operations have been updated. Please know that the department staff will continue to refine these measures based on expert guidance from sources like the Centers for Disease Control, State Departments of Health, and Monroe County Department of Health. But effective Saturday, March 5th, 2022, program participants, employees, and visitors are no longer required to wear a mask or face covering while inside town facilities, including the Brookside Recreation Center. As masks remain a critical tool to fight the spread of COVID-19, staff is still strongly encouraging program participants, employees, and visitors to continue to mask. The town of Brighton and Recreation Department will continue to follow the New York State Department of Health guidelines for exposure, isolation, and quarantine, and continues to ask participants and staff to monitor themselves for illness and stay home if they're not feeling well. Our top priority is making sure we keep the Brighton community and our employees safe, open, and moving forward. Everyone at the Recreation Department appreciates all those who have stuck with the town through the ups and downs of COVID-19, and staff and administration look forward to continuing our return to more normal operations. With regard to our winter and spring registration, that is ongoing. Sign up for programming early online to secure your spot, as programs are offered on a first come, first served basis. Full program offerings and registration can be found on the Recreation Department website. That website is www.townofbrighton.org/rec or REC. Recreation staff is putting the finishing touches on our lineup of spring activities, including the return of the Brickyard Bunny Trail. Please keep an eye on our Facebook page, the website, and your email for fun event announcements. And the Recreation Department would like to remind you that if you do have a program idea or a skill that you would like to share with the community, please contact the Recreation Department to find out how to be added as a program instructor. You can complete the new program proposal on the Recreation Department website or give the Recreation Department a call. That number is 585-784-5260, extension 0. Just as a reminder, some of our upcoming 2022 programs include We Group Games, Schoolhouse Theater Rocks, Lift or Low Impact Fitness Training Class, Chisel Fitness Class, Story Sharing Class with Push Physical Theater, horseback riding, basketball, and so much more. So please do check out our offerings. And then an update from our Parks Department. Our parks remain winterized. Staff is still busy setting up 2022 service contracts and bids for various equipment and supplies. And again, effective Saturday, March 5th, 2022, facilities lessees, employees, and visitors are no longer required to wear a mask or face covering while inside lodges. Again, as masks remain a critical tool to fight the spread of COVID-19, staff is still strongly encouraging program participants, employees, and visitors to continue to mask. Staff also continues to monitor facility reservations against upcoming COVID-19 policies and procedures, and to reevaluate and establish new maintenance standards for all parks and other properties maintained by the Parks Department. Again, the main goal is to continue to provide safe, functional, and aesthetically appealing parks and facilities for everyone. The department is beginning to receive communication from various youth athletic groups regarding what their anticipated spring field use may encompass. Because of the surge of field use in 2021, park staff will be identifying athletics fields to be rested in the spring based on how those fields responded to fall maintenance. As part of the approved 2022 capital improvement plan, park staff will be resurfacing and repainting the tennis and basketball courts at Buckland Park as soon as weather permits. In addition, park staff is working with a grant to potentially change the 21 parking light fixtures to an LED replacement at Buckland Park. In particular, because all parks and facilities continue to see heightened use, extensive equipment and material inventory and organization is underway within the department, including building new park picnic tables to replace ones that have deteriorated, scheduling all facility alarm and fire systems protections or inspections, appliance replacement, sign repair and replacement, and general repair and preventative maintenance and required code inspection of all equipment and facilities. Just to remind you of upcoming events, the Drug Enforcement Agency National Pharmaceutical Take Back event will take place at Brighton Town Hall in the Public Safety Wing, 2300 Elmwood Avenue on Saturday, April 30th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Brighton Clean Sweep makes its return at Brighton Town Hall, 2300 Elmwood Avenue on Saturday, May 7th. That event will go from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And our semi-annual electronics recycling and secure document shredding event will take place at the Brighton Highway Department parking lot, 1941 Elmwood Avenue on Sunday, May 15th from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. The next meeting of the Community Services Committee will be next Wednesday, March 16th at 9:30 a.m. at the Brookside Recreation Center. As always, members of the public are invited and encouraged to attend. That's all I have, Bill.
Thank you, Robin. Finance, Jason.
Yes, Bill, the Finance and Administrative Services Committee met last Tuesday, March 1st. Each of the items that were discussed in committee appear on tonight's town board agenda and will be discussed in further detail. Our next meeting will be held on Tuesday, March 15th. We will meet at 3:30 in the afternoon in the main auditorium at Town Hall, and the public is invited to attend.
Thanks very much, Jason. Chris, Public Safety.
Thanks, Bill. The Public Safety Committee met just yesterday. We started out with a presentation by Jackie Council from the Monroe County Clerk's Office talking about the pistol permitting process and at the invitation of the chief, and because I had expressed an interest in whether or not we'd seen a surge in Brighton similar to the rest of the country in pistol permits and pistol purchases. And as it turns out, it does not appear that there have been any significant increase in pistol permits in the county or Brighton for that matter. But she did go through in detail and answer questions about the permitting process, which was quite interesting. We went through with the various reports by our providers. Brighton Ambulance reported that they had 638 requests for services in February. They talked about the training department expansion in doing more simulation training, and also the Henrietta Fire Company also it talked about how effective simulation training was as well. And they talked about engaging both the ambulance corps and the fire department in that process. They again reiterated that staffing regionally is in short supply, and it's putting a burden on mutual aid calls. And also BVA has had a part-time staff absence as well. Nonetheless, with the downturn in COVID numbers, hospital wait times have plateaued, so there is not the backup we've experienced in the past, which is good news. The loan closet has reopened at Brighton Ambulance, so feel free to go there and for crutches and wheelchairs and walkers and things of that nature. Brighton Fire Department reported on 478 calls year to date, and they had one working fire since our last meeting. They're having a new volunteer information session on March 21 at 7 p.m. and the details are on the Brighton Fire Department webpage, or a Facebook webpage. Department of Public Works reported on their efforts with 6 or 7 downed trees with the recent windstorm. The commissioner also reported that crews are working at the farmers market on Westfall Road, removing debris and preparing that site for the commencement of construction on the 2 new buildings that we expect will be going up there. And actually, I stopped by there this afternoon, and Mike, no, they would not give me a trial run on the backhoe, but so the community is safe. But talked with the guys there, and that site work is ongoing. The yard debris pickup and removal will be starting towards the end of March or mid-April, around the same time with our staff changeover from 4 10-hour days rather than 5 8-hour days. Brighton Police Department reported on 10,731 calls for service year to date. And they also, Captain Desane went through the Lilac 5 and 10K race sites and routes, and talked about that race, which will be May 22nd. Start at 8 a.m. for the 5K race and at 9:30 for the 10K in the various roadways that will be affected. The Henrietta Fire District reported on their calls to date of 1,138 so far year to date for their entire district, of which 120 have been in West Brighton and 52 calls in West Brighton in February. The RG&E folks did stop by to discuss the Winton Road gas main replacement project, and particularly some questions we had about ongoing night work. There will be other meetings there, and it sounds as if we will not be able to have any in-depth discussions until they've actually selected a contractor to perform their work. And so we look forward to future meetings with them to see what sort of mitigation can be done if, in fact, we're going to be authorizing nighttime work. Chief Cathaldi reported on the catalytic converter theft task force, which is a county-wide task force, and indicated that there had been several arrests in the county, and which has resulted in a significant decline in catalytic converter thefts in the county. That's a nationwide problem, and they're continuing to look at the various approaches, including etching and so forth. Also, we had a discussion, and this was introduced by Councilmember Corrado, that perhaps we should look at reducing the speed on Winton Road from 35 to 30, which is consistent with what it is in the city of Rochester as well. And Commissioner Guyon is going to prepare and submit a letter to the Monroe County Department of Transportation inquiring about that reduction. And we also discussed different alternatives for distribution of a significant number of COVID home test kits. Bill, you've already mentioned that, and the fire departments have requested that we supply them a number of those kits so they can be distributed. They're also going to be at the library, they're at the police department, and anyone who would like one, you can get them at any number of places, including I saw them available at Town Hall. Our next meeting will be April 12th at 0800 hours, and we hope to see you there.
Thanks, Chris. And I just want to add, because as you heard at the meeting, it has been a long-standing issue that I have raised over and over again with the county, and that is the left turn lane. I hope the opportunity to make it easier for drivers turning left from southbound Winton onto Monroe as part of this project. The project will conclude with the entire stretch of road that's being constructed being repaved, and that's a great opportunity to restripe and put in any new signalization. We know, we've heard it time after time after time, that people struggle. That intersection, it is a hard one. The sight lines are challenging for people. As a practical matter, most people get into the left lane to make a left turn, but there's people that aren't as familiar, may think they can, that they're in that lane, they're planning on going straight, get frustrated by a couple people turning left, they dart out into the right turn lane. It's not as safe as it could be, I don't believe, but I'm not a traffic engineer. We're going to be looking at retaining Stantec and having Stantec do a study that I hope will carry more weight than this layperson and prod the county into permitting that reconfiguration. So there's more to follow on that, but that was another, I think, important topic. It's a county road, so the county determines what the speed limit is, and that's why we've got Mike asking them, but they also determine the signage and the striping. And I don't think we're being difficult. I think we're being responsive to what we hear and trying to address traffic safety at one of the most challenging intersections in Monroe County. So I hope we get a yes this time.
We'll see.
Thanks for working on that, Mike. Thank you for that report, Chris. I appreciate it. Last, Christine, Public Works.
Yes, Public Works met on March 1st, and Bill has already given the top of the minutes report. The South Winton Road gas main replacement project roadway improvements were a considerable topic of discussion at that meeting as well. So in addition to requesting that study on the potential for protected left turns on Winton Road onto Monroe, we've asked Commissioner Guyon to pursue reducing, having the county reduce the lanes to 10-foot travel lanes, which on Winton Road, which would give wider shoulders and safer passage for bicyclists. The county has indicated that they'll consider that request. We've also asked if they would consider relocating the existing stop bar south of the drop-off loop on the northbound lane of Winton Road at the high school pedestrian crossing. And that would allow drivers leaving that loop easier egress from the loop and the ability to make a protected left turn onto Winton Road southbound. In other matters, we had an update on the stretch code. At the October meeting, the Public Works Committee indicated that a committee was in formation to review the implementation of the stretch code. The Climate Action Plan Committee will take that up and make recommendations regarding the implementation, and an additional committee is not necessary at this time. And then we had a list, a lengthy update on projects in town. And as Commissioner Guyon said at the meeting, it only begins to scratch the surface, but I know that we know that the community is interested in hearing about these top of mind projects. Starting with the New York State DOT West Henrietta Corridor Study. The New York State DOT has indicated that they will begin the initial design of the West Henrietta Corridor this year. That's a critical corridor in town, and we have requested and continue to request that New York State DOT seek the town's input prior to the design of that corridor. It's a state route, but it's one of our primary commercial corridors with a heavy traffic, heavy through traffic, heavy pedestrian traffic. We should be consulted on any changes and improvements to that stretch. The farmers market, as Chris alluded to, the project continues. Commissioner Guyan anticipates that bid documents for the market building will be available by summer. And if bids are acceptable, construction of the project should begin this year and be completed in the fall of 2023. Town highway forces, as Chris said, have begun site work for the market as weather permits. And oh dear, some of my notes were cut off. I think the notes there refer to safety practices on site as the work is underway. I'll blame my printer, Mike. Library roof installation is about to get underway. It's tentatively scheduled to begin next month. And at present, we don't anticipate any change in the library's operating hours while that work is being done. The roof installation will utilize low VOC adhesives that are aromatic, and they may impact comfort for patrons and employees during installation, but they are not harmful, just rather smelly. That work is long overdue and the library needs the protection of a sealed roof. Elmwood Avenue sidewalks from South Clinton to just east of Westerlo Avenue. That project, the town is currently pursuing easements that are necessary to install this section of the sidewalk, and construction is anticipated to begin in 2022. The community development building grants, did I get that acronym right? Block grants, that's it. The community development block grant sidewalk application has been submitted requesting funding to construct a sidewalk along the north side of East Avenue from the existing sidewalk, which ends approximately 400 feet west of Clover Street, to the existing sidewalk. And if it's funded, the sidewalk will be completed extending along the front of the Stone Tolan House property, tying in a complete pedestrian connection with the city of Rochester. French Road Bridge Rehabilitation Project proposal is scheduled for approval, was scheduled for approval on March 2nd, so the day after our meeting. Mike, do you have an update on that?
We haven't heard anything yet, Christine. I'll check back with the agency there.
All right. Tentatively, the design should be completed in January of 2023 and construction will begin in 2024. The town has a tree database in development. Town staff are developing a GIS-based tree database that will assist staff in managing the maintenance of our tree canopy. And that should be completed this year as well. And that's pretty significant. That helps the town with managing maintenance of trees and supports our Tree City USA designation. The East Avenue sidewalk, staff will be requesting and have requested that the Finance Committee recommend that the board approve a contract with Liu Engineers to design the project, and a SAM grant will fund the design and construction. And that's on the agenda for tonight. The Climate Action Plan, under the aegis of the Sustainability Oversight Committee, along with its consultant, are developing a schedule for the first public workshop regarding the plan. You heard about that earlier. The workshop will likely be the first week of April. It is, yes, there is a date for that. Correct, Robin? Yeah.
April 5th.
Yes, that's April 5th.
Thank you. And it will take about 12 to 18 months to complete. You heard some already about the LED lighting contract. The town received bids to retrofit town-owned Cobra headlights, park lights, and town hall lights with LED fixtures. And staff is requesting that the Finance Committee recommend that the board award the contract to the lowest responsible bidder. I believe that's on the agenda tonight too, correct? Yes. Building and planning software is a very important matter. in Town Hall, because the town is pursuing a grant that will fund the purchase and installation of new building and planning software. The application requires that town staff seek proposals for software vendors, and responses to the town RFP are due tomorrow, March 10th. So town staff will be meeting with InX Architecture to conduct a kickoff meeting regarding the town hall evaluation project. That kickoff meeting happened yesterday. I trust it went well. Anything to add to that, Mike?
No, not much other than the meeting did go very, very well. We outlined how we're going to attack the process, and yeah, very impressed with the consultant thus far.
Good. Last in new business, you heard about COVID test kits. We have those 17,000 test kits. They need to get out into the community. One reminder to the community, as you start to accumulate your test kits, whether they're coming home through your children from school, or if you're picking them up around town and around the county, please check the expiration dates on them and use those that will expire soonest first, and save the ones that will last a little longer till later. Hopefully you won't need to use them all, but they do expire, so please pay attention to those expiration dates. And we reviewed some technical code amendments that clarify the responsibility of the senior planner and authorize the Commissioner of Public Works to designate representatives. So basically aligning town code with work responsibilities of staff in Town Hall. And last, we reviewed trees that have been reviewed by the Tree Council. There are more trees that need removal. Addresses are 21 Westland on the Edgemere side. A Norway maple will be removed and replaced. 31 Walden Place. There is a silver maple that will be removed. 60 Helen Road. There is a white ash that will be removed and replaced a little further west of its original site. And 60 Shaftesbury has a locust tree that needs to be removed, and it will be replaced. And that is all for the Public Works Committee. We meet next on April 5th at 9 a.m. in Town Hall.
Thank you, Christine. Moving on to old business, Jason, reading and approval of claims.
Actually, Bill, I wasn't able to review.
Oh,
claims
that's
this week,
right.
And Councilmember
Robin.
Wilt was able to handle
Robin,
it.
reading and
I'll hand it
approval
over
of
to her.
claims.
Yes, I had the pleasure of pinch hitting today for Councilmember DePonzio. Earlier today, I audited claims in an amount totaling $730,082.08. Notable claims include, first, to the Brighton Volunteer Ambulance for payment for the 2022 contract, less the fuel retainage per the town board approved agreement for a net payment of $335,000. Also to CDW-G Computer Center, Inc. with regard to payment for computers, servers, and Google licensing for contract pricing. That claim was in the amount of $22,721.36. Then to Earth Tech Developers, LLC, for partial payment for work performed on the French Road Sidewalk project. That amount is $13,360.37. Also to S&W Services, Inc., which represents final payment for the town's fuel island repairs per approved contract in the amount of $19,500. And finally, to Waste Management of Rochester, which represents payment for February services to the town areas and refuse districts for board awarded contract in the amount of $95,212.58. All of the claims appear to be in order, and I move that they be approved.
Can I have a second?
Second. Jason.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember DePonzio,
Aye.
Councilmember Werner,
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt,
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado,
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy.
Aye. Christine, the Kakamis contract.
Happy to do so. The next matter seeks to authorize the supervisor to execute an agreement with Lou Engineers for design
Nope,
service.
nope, the Kakamis, the
Oh,
one
I'm
before
so
this.
sorry. Jumped down to the one I'm really excited about, but this one's exciting too. This matter seeks to authorize the supervisor to award a bid contract to ML Kakamis Electric Corporation in an amount not to exceed $94,242.65 for the 2022 LED lighting retrofit project and to execute any necessary orders. I move that we adopt the resolution before us.
Second, Robin.
Any discussion on this? Mike, we do have some money left over now from that grant and we'll be looking for other opportunities, I guess.
Correct. The grant was for $125,000, so there will be some funding, excess funding, unless we run into some problems, which I truly don't envision, Bill. It's pretty straightforward.
Well, it's great that we finally have the opportunity to have funding and move these projects we've wanted to do for some time forward. Thank you. Further discussion, anybody? Hearing none, Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember DePonzio,
Aye.
Councilmember Werner,
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt,
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado,
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy.
Aye. Now let's do Lou Engineers. Christine.
Well, thank you. This matter seeks to authorize the supervisor to execute an agreement with Lou Engineers for design services and construction documents related to the East Avenue Sidewalk project in an amount not to exceed $139,850 and authorize the finance department to make necessary 2022 budget amendments to fund said project. I move that we adopt the resolution before us.
Second, Chris.
Thank you. Here again, we have a project that will be funded with state grant money, SAM grant program, as was referenced earlier. And it's going to be a challenging project, but I know it's going to make a big difference in terms of safety of school children going to the Allens Creek School, but also to the ability to make a complete connection through East Avenue from the city of Rochester out to the village of Pittsford. You heard earlier discussion of another segment that we hope to get community development block grant money for all over town. Sidewalks are a priority. This has been a missing link that has been problematic for a long time because it is going to be a hard project, but looking forward to moving forward with it. Any further discussion on that matter? Hearing none, Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember DePonzio,
Aye.
Councilmember Werner,
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt,
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado,
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy.
Aye. Next, Chris.
Bill, the next item is to authorize the supervisor to execute an agreement with Monroe County to participate in the New York State Department of Criminal Justice Services Live Scan Grant to replace the police department's current fingerprint scanner. I move that we adopt the resolution before us.
Second, Jason.
Chief, anything you want to say about this opportunity?
It's free grant money. The sheriff's office is going to buy all the agencies in Monroe County by use of that grant money, live scan, which is used for our fingerprinting, both criminal fingerprints and for civilian fingerprinting. And we need this piece of equipment to accomplish that, and they're going to supply it to us.
There is a common theme tonight. Grant money is very, very important to the town,
Yes.
and it serves us in a lot of different ways. So here's one more, and this will be a more accurate, more efficient system. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on this? Hearing none, Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember DePonzio,
Aye.
Councilmember Werner,
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt,
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado,
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy.
Aye. Robin.
Certainly, the next matter seeks to authorize the supervisor to execute an agreement with Pathway Vet Alliance LLC, doing business as veterinary specialist and emergency service for boarding and veterinary services for the police department's animal control unit for a term effective January 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2022. I move that we adopt the resolution as prepared by the town attorney, excuse me.
Second, Jason.
As the public has seen, there have been some changes in the veterinary services market in the area. It has not only affected individuals, but it has also affected the towns through our police department, our animal control officers. We have occasion, hopefully occasionally only, to pick up stray dogs. And if we can't quickly find their owner, and that probably means they're not properly licensed. So we really shouldn't have any of these, because as we all know, all dogs should have their license on them, and it would be very quick to get them back to their owner. But sometimes they aren't. And sometimes they need to be boarded while we look for the owner. This is a matter that still is in somewhat of a state of flux. I spoke with the deputy county attorney just today, and I think to the chief either today or yesterday. This is an area that continues to be in some flux, but we're asking that we authorize this agreement now. There may be some additional opportunities. We've been getting some different communications on that, and we're going to continue to work to see whether there is some other and better arrangement in the short term, and perhaps in the longer term, that we can work collaboratively with other municipalities to address a little, it's not something you think about every day, but a very real community need. So thank you for that motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember DePonzio,
Aye.
Councilmember Werner,
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt,
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado,
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy.
Aye. Jason.
Yes, the next matter seeks to authorize the supervisor to amend the agreement with Davidson Fink LLC by increasing the hourly rate from $230 to $275, effective immediately for tax assessment 2022. I move we adopt the resolution as prepared by the town attorney.
Second, Robin.
The Davidson Fink firm has represented the town in a variety of tax assessment matters for many years. They have not raised their rates in quite a number of years. It's a fairly significant increase, but when taken over the number of years that it has stayed flat, it's nobody likes to pay more, but that seems to be the way of the world right now. Ken, I don't know if you or anybody else wants to say anything further about that.
The rate being charged is reasonable. That is the new rate. It is within the market rate and is actually less than the firm is charging other municipalities.
And it is a discount to their regular rates. Anything further? And we have a motion and a second. Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember DePonzio,
Aye.
Councilmember Werner,
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt,
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado,
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy.
Aye. Christine, the EAP.
Yes, the next matter seeks to authorize the supervisor to execute an agreement with UR Medicine EAP for employee assistance program services in the amount of $4,900 per year for a term of 2 years, beginning January 1, 2022 through December 31, 2023. I move that we adopt the resolution before us.
Second, Chris.
Obviously, our EAP, our Employee Assistance Program, is a very important program. We talked about the importance of the health of our staff earlier. This is one more part of that. Paula, I don't know if there's anything you want to say about this contract?
Yeah, the percentage increase in the contract was a little higher than we'd liked. I believe it was around 8%, but we pay $24.50 annually for 200 employees. So when we looked at the dollar value of the increase, it was only $200 course of the 2 years. So it's reasonable. And we're very, very happy with their service.
Yes. Okay, anything further? If not, Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember DePonzio,
Aye.
Councilmember Werner,
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt,
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado,
Aye.
Supervisor Maley.
Aye. Chris?
Next item, Bill, is to authorize the supervisor to execute a renewal agreement with Penflex Inc. for the administration of the West Brighton Fire Protection District Length of Service Award Program, with the addition of closeout services for the program in an amount not to exceed $12,000 for a term of November 1, 2021 through October 31, 2022. I move that we adopt the resolution before us.
Can I have a second, please?
Second, Jason.
We've talked about the transition in West Brighton Fire Service to the Henrietta Fire District. This is really one of the last pieces of that whole process. This relates to a benefit program that former volunteers of the former West Brighton Fire Department used to earn. And Penflex, which has advised us on that work, will be advising us now on the termination of that plan and the payout to all of the participants. We have a motion and a second. Anything further on that? Hearing none, Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember DePonzio,
Aye.
Councilmember Werner,
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt,
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado,
Aye.
Supervisor Maley.
Aye. And the last one, Jason.
Yes, Bill, the next matter seeks the appointment of former town supervisor Sandy Frankel as the intermunicipal cooperation official representing the town on the Board of Governors of the New York Municipal Insurance Reciprocal. I move we adopt the resolution as prepared by the town attorney.
Second.
Second.
I think I heard Robin first. When Sandy served as town supervisor, she served as a member of the board of the New York Municipal Insurance Reciprocal, which is the property and casualty and liability insurance company that is set up among many of the municipalities in the state of New York to provide the very specialized insurance programs that local government needs. She has continued to serve on that board. She, however, must have some official position with the town. So we have appointed her, and I recommend that we continue to appoint her to this volunteer position to serve as a volunteer member of the board of NYMIR, the New York Municipal Insurance Reciprocal. Having her on the board has been helpful in terms of not only her knowledge of the town of Brighton, but her ability to communicate important ongoing matters, coming from NYMIR that are going to be relevant to our own risk management and insurance programming. So I certainly recommend, if Sandy's willing to keep doing it for free, I'm willing to hire her. So we have a motion and a second. further conversation on that? Hearing none, Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember DePonzio,
Aye.
Councilmember Werner,
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt,
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado,
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy.
Aye, and thank you, Sandy, for continuing to serve in that capacity. Matters of the supervisor, the January expense and revenue report. Paula.
The copies are there. January tends to be somewhat of a light month since during that first month, we're really paying a lot of December claims. And we just finished up the field work for the audit. So this is to receive and file, and I will post the detailed expense reports on the website.
Thank you. Robin, can I have a motion to receive and file?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Second.
That time I heard Jason sneak in. You're gonna have to ring that button faster, Christine. Motion and second to receive and file the January 2022 expense and revenue report. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember DePonzio,
Aye.
Councilmember Werner,
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt,
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado,
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy.
Aye. Matters of the town attorney.
I just have one matter for executive session regarding a matter of pending litigation, and that's all.
Thank you. Matters of the town clerk. Dan?
Yeah, thank you, Supervisor. Just a couple of notes this evening. I was having a conversation with the Board of Elections yesterday, and I have a little sneak preview of November, well, in the June primary as well. Folks are probably not aware of this, but the Board of Elections has taken a lot of the election duties back in-house and away from the various town clerks. So in the past, I have worked with a number of establishments in town and my predecessors before me to help work out setting up polling sites, finding locations, being the go-between, and really just making sure things go smoothly, as well as a lot more involvement with the inspectors. For various reasons, they've pulled that all back in-house. I don't think they're entirely wrong, but there's always wiggle room on things. So we'll see. Hopefully everything goes smoothly. I'm sure it will. There's professional staff down there. But one thing that has happened in relation to the west part of town, particularly the folks who have traditionally voted at the firehouse on West Henrietta Road. The Henrietta Fire Department traditionally has not allowed voting to take place at their firehouses, particularly during COVID, as they try to keep their staff safe. Because so many folks bunk in at these houses and spend a lot of their time there. So the polling site at West Henrietta Firehouse is moving to the Faith Bible Church on East Henrietta Road across from MCC. Fabulous location, great parking. It's a good room. I remember when we found it for them a couple years ago. Pastor Bob over there, super nice, very helpful, and happy to be part of the community and help us out. The board staff was elated at they said it was one of the best rooms in the county for voting. So you're in good hands over there. I know it's a little bit further away than some of you are used to. Again, not something I have any control over, but it's a good spot. It's a good spot. And the other piece, a little bit frustrating. For years now, folks have asked us, me specifically, about being able to pay for taxes with a credit card. The county has always had that option on their website. It is not without any cost, however. The credit card companies do charge a fee per transaction. It's not anything we can just build into the price or anything we can waive. The COVID was a quick exception that the county executive Bello was able to negotiate. But the credit cards are coming here to the clerk's office. Unfortunately, we couldn't get the technological piece set up in time for the due date last month, which was pretty frustrating for me. But as of now, you can pay for your tax payments with a credit card here in the office. So if that's something you are looking to do, you can do that. The vendor I have located and I'm using still charges a fee, but it is less than what you would pay at the county's website. So it's still 2.45%, which can end up not being insignificant, but it is an option, another option that is available to you now. So if you have any questions, give a call, but it is up and running today. So come on in and use it if you'd like.
Thanks very much, Dan. Matters of the town board.
Nothing further.
Then can I have a motion to go into executive session to discuss a matter of litigation?
So moved.
Second,
Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember DePonzio,
Aye.
Councilmember Werner,
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt,
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado,
aye.
Supervisor Mealy.
Aye. I do not anticipate coming back out and taking any action in open session after this executive session. So our next meeting will be March 23rd at 7 p.m., 2 weeks from tonight. Have a great evening, everybody. Stay safe. Thank you.